Tuesday, February 24. This is the monthly meeting of the Durham Parks and Recreation Committee. Before we start, I think we'll go around and have everyone introduce themselves. If you could start, Joe.
Joe Friedman.
Chris Gowland.
Rachel Gazowski.
Kathy Leach.
Matt Swiss.
Linda Kuhn.
All right, thank you. So the first item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, thanks, Linda. Any comments on the agenda? All right, all those in favor of approving the agenda, say aye. Aye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5-0. 5. Oh, okay. Next item is the approval of the minutes for our last meeting, which was January 27, 2026. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I motion to approve.
Okay. Second?
I'll second.
Okay. Come on, Chris. You can jump in here. I keep looking at him like. Okay. I had a couple very minor changes to the minutes. Page 2, under the Trails subgroup update, where we have the acronym for the LSSC, that should be a period after that. And then in the Wagon Hill Farm parking, second paragraph from the bottom, it says outline what the donations would be used for instead of use. And then on page 3, under the strategic plan, provided a very preliminary draft of an overall 1 to 3 year strategic plan. So I would add the word year into that. Everyone okay with those? Okay, anyone have any other things to change on the minutes?
Didn't see anything.
Okay, they were very good minutes. Thank you, Casey. So we will have a vote to approve the minutes of January 27. All those in favor say aye. Aye. I should say as amended, because we made those very minor amendments.
I don't think you can vote.
What?
Right? Were you here?
Oh, were you here at that meeting?
Oh, I understand. I see. No, I wasn't at the last
You
one.
weren't here, okay. You can vote if you watched it on DCAT. Did you miss that too? Okay, all right. Okay, so that only is 4 of us, so we might not actually be able to accept those, because that would just be half of us.
What's a quorum? Oh, it's
I think we have to have 5. Oh, well, I'll say we did it, and I'll ask Karen what we can do with it. Okay. Next item on the agenda is public comments, and we do have a member of the public who would like to speak with us this evening.
And, Joe, I'm going to turn on my timer so I will not run over. I'm Julian Smith. I live at 3 Chesley Drive. I just bought that house to be convenient to the mill pond, which we were about to lose. Anyway, I've lived in Durham off and on since 1965, and in front of you, there are 2 Xeroxes of photographs I took, cell phone photos I took last fall while walking one of the trails I cleared back in the 60s with Veronique Leddington. These 2 images show the Handkerchief Rocks. Ina Thompson, who owned the Highland House property on Bennett Road, called them the Handkerchief Rocks because guests at her bed and breakfast, a boarding house, would take a lunch and walk 300 or 400 yards down into a valley, over a brook rather, and up the slope. It was all cleared back then before the Second World War. Most of the big trees are new. And this was originally one big glacial erratic which split over the years because of frost. And when I took the picture, I used this to give you a sense of scale. Now, when my daughter was 4 or 5 years old, and still small enough, she could get into that crack between the big rocks and shimmy up to the top and dare her brothers to follow her, which they never could. And if you go for a visit, they're about 150, 200 yards from the intersection of Packers Falls and Wiswell Road. I've also left my card. I would be glad to take anyone on a tour of the Handkerchief Rocks. The land is now owned by the University of New Hampshire. Jim Horrigan, the father of Tim Horrigan, and I were abutters to Ina. She couldn't afford the taxes as her property became more and more valuable. So we encouraged her to stop negotiating with people who wanted to have a golf course there, and instead offer her property to the university. In exchange, they would not have any taxes, and she could continue living there for the rest of her life. Within a few years, the university moved her out without her permission as her mind started to go. A very sad story for another day. So, I cleared a trail with Ina's permission across her land in 1967, 1968, and I still walk it from time to time. It goes all the way over to the Farmer Fogg property, or the farmer property owned by Shirley Thompson and her husband. There's a creek system, a rather brook, that drains the Fogg property and the subdivision on the north side of Packers Falls Road. So I've used up almost 4 minutes. And let me move on to something else. The chair has suggested I not ask this question, but I'm me, and I'm going to ask it. This is a copy of the 254-page VHB report entitled Oyster River Dam Removal at Mill Pond. Todd Selleck has promised to get me the what they paid for this. It is something that was designed to recommend that the Mill Pond Dam be removed and to explain why alternatives to removing the Mill Pond Dam were not feasible. I spent many years in the early part of this millennium arguing while sitting at the council table for 4 terms, arguing that the Mill Pond dam should not be removed, or if it is removed, at least bring in enough boulders so beavers can build dams, a series of dams against the pond. So I'm running out of time. So I'm going to pass this around. I've left a marker in it. I'm sorry for going over for
That's
a little
okay,
bit.
it's all right.
Good. Oh, don't encourage me. I've left it open with a file folder to show you where muck is going to be hauled out. I think they're talking about something like 9,000 cubic yards of muck that will be hauled out and stockpiled along Mill Pond Road, which will probably be closed for some time, months, perhaps weeks. And of course, the little park, the little park where there's a big, nice sitting stone. So take a look. You can flip through this. There's lots of pretty pictures. And if you want to read the whole thing, you can find it you can ask Tracy Cutler in the planning office to let you take a look at it. So, thank you. I've gone way over, but that is my tendency. So, if you have any questions of me, I'll stay here for a few minutes. Otherwise, I'll be gone.
Okay, thank you. And you know what? I'm not sure I asked you to introduce yourself, so Julie.
I said Julie.
You did? Okay.
3 Chudley Drive.
Okay,
And I've
okay.
lived here since 1965.
Well, I heard that part. Okay.
You're not having any memory loss problems?
Well,
though?
could be, could be.
I'm sorry.
All right, thank you,
Bye-bye.
Julian. All right, next item on the agenda is the round table. Does anyone have anything that they want to bring up? The round table? Yes, Joe.
I got an email that, from UNH, that they are having an event on March 3rd at the press room that called the Outdoors is Crowded. Let's talk about it. And I guess it's for alumni mostly, but they said they're gonna hear from Mike Ferguson and Matt Fry, who did our ARRC report.
Yep.
And they're gonna feature examples from around the region that show how communities are welcoming more people outside while still protecting the places we love. So
Okay.
that's just an event.
Do you think it's open to the public or not really?
I got it as an alumni,
Okay,
so I'm not 100% sure whether it's
Okay.
open to the public.
Where is
But it's
it?
at the press room in
Okay.
Portsmouth.
okay,
And it's from 5:30 to 7:30, and the
Okay.
date is on March 23rd.
okay. All right, thank you. That does sound interesting.
Yeah.
I know that Matt and Mike have done a lot of research and studies for the state as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
And let me just check that date, because there's two dates on this announcement. And so it looks like it's actually March 3rd.
Okay.
Even though nope, it's not that either. Sorry.
that's all right.
Excuse me, it is, it is March 3rd.
Okay.
Because the 23rd is not a Tuesday, and it's next Tuesday.
Okay,
The other thing, may have seen that also in the news about Rochester's arena, and they're talking about renovating their ice rink, and they're estimating costs between $5 million and $27 million. $5 million would be a minor renovation, according to them, and $27 million would be a whole new rink in another location.
yeah.
And
That's
there's-
quite a range.
Right.
Quite a cost range.
They have another one at $10.8 million to renovate, add an elevator for ADA compliance. So just as a data point, I guess.
Yeah, I just can't stand to
along
take
the
a
way.
look right now, but yeah.
Do you want to take a look?
So
Okay.
those are my comments.
All right, thank you. Anything else for roundtable? Yes.
I'll jump. Kathy and I met the other day, and we're talking about communications, and I discussed this with her, and I just thought I'd share with the group. I think at a minimum, everybody probably saw the new poster for Wagon Hill regarding dog walking, just reiterating the rules and the times that that's acceptable, which led me to believe that everything that happened in the prior week settled at that, but I don't know that. Joe, maybe you can comment on that.
Nothing's been settled, and I think it's definitely going to be looked at more carefully. The two issues at hand is both parking up there and dog walking.
Yeah.
And dog walking, it's, no decisions have been made.
Okay.
But it's being looked at closely at this point.
Yeah, so things, heated up over the last week or two, and I was aware that it was being looked at, and, people are thinking, oh, maybe it's going to go away entirely, but at least what I read in Friday updates, it seemed like the issue is mostly around the fact that these issues keep coming up. They get a lot of attention, the dog walkers get together, let's clean up poop, let's get the word out a little bit, they go away for a little while, and then they come back again. And then they, so it's this cyclical thing. I just wanted to share that Scott Letourneau, who's my neighbor, he owns Tideline, has been talking to the stewardship committee and also talking to dog walkers, trying to organize a group to create a permanent solution, to say, all right, we're going to have an entity that has volunteers that are on board for taking care of this in a long-term way that deals, I don't know if they can impact parking, but at least deals with the dog issues, making sure people are adhering to the hours, cleaning up after their dogs, monitoring dogs that if they have a record of being out of control, that they're being taken care of. So there's just that action going on right now that I just thought we ought to be aware of. If it's not necessarily in our jurisdiction, it is a place where people go to recreate and value. So I thought we should know that that's happening.
All right, thanks. And I did see the sign, the example of the sign in the Friday updates, and maybe I didn't look at it that closely, but I thought it was kind of business as usual, just having the sign there to let people know what the business as usual is. Is that right?
That's
Did I
how it
look
struck
at that
me.
right? Yeah.
The Land Stewardship Committee, and Linda was part of that
Yeah.
meeting as well. We did discuss it for quite some time.
Yep.
And made some recommendations or the committee did, make some recommendations to Todd. So at this point, things are just definitely being evaluated.
Yeah.
And as Chris said, that with Scott Letourneau kind of, for the moment, overseeing or organizing the dog group, Seacoast Dog, or I forget what they but they call themselves Seacoast Dog Walkers.
Oh, yeah, there's at least a Facebook group that's
Yeah.
Seacoast Dog Owners or Dog Walkers
Yeah.
or something, yeah.
Yep, so kind of rallying that dedicated group that's part of that to really help to be part of the solution. And myself and Veronique and Neil and another member from the Conservation Commission did meet with Scott.
Scott, yeah.
Just last week,
Yeah.
so.
And in terms of fees, also, Kathy, your letter to Todd was shared by Todd with the rest of the council on what the ARC report said
Yeah.
people felt about fees and whether we should charge out-of-town residents more, whether we should have mandatory fees, voluntary fees. So all of this is is under
Yeah.
consideration at this
Yeah,
point.
and thanks to Mike Ferguson for reminding Rachel and I that that data was in the report, because we hadn't even thought about it. It was not, if you'll remember from the ARC report, it was not geared toward Wagon Hill at all, but it was just sort of a general community thoughts on fees at parks and that kind of thing. So I don't think that the data we provided, I'm not sure there was any one big aha moment or anything, but.
Well, the one that stuck out for me, and it was on a scale of 1 to 7.
Yeah.
1 being people aren't interested, 7 being let's really do this.
Yeah.
The one that said applying a mandatory park day use fee for all users
Yeah.
had the lowest score
Yeah,
of
that
all
was
of them, at
definitely low.
2.66 score. So
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's in favor of charging everybody
Yeah.
just to get into the park.
Right.
For instance.
Right. Yeah.
Not nobody, but it was a very small number in that survey.
Yeah. But there was another data point in there, I think, thank you for bringing that did provide more support toward non-residents being
Yes.
charged, correct?
They said non-Durham residents pay more than Durham residents to use DPR programs and facilities. And
okay.
that registered a 5.48, which was almost the highest score of the things regarding. The highest score was the recreation revolving fund that we've talked
Yeah.
about in this committee. Second was hiring more full-time staff at 5.49.
Yeah.
And third was having non-Durham residents paying more at 5.48.
Yeah, but I guess the way that's worded, I wouldn't assume people were thinking about parks. I think they were probably thinking more about the word programs for that than parks. So I'm not sure that's a great
It
data
says
point either.
facilities.
Yeah,
You could
facilities,
extend that
yeah.
to parking, but that's gray.
Yeah. Okay, well, anyway, I'm glad that hopefully it helped. Okay. All right, so thanks and if you just want to keep us up to date on that, Chris or Joe or whomever, wherever kind of that goes. Okay. Any other comments?
One quick one. I'm going to stick around until that gets to the end of the table so I can take it away. I need it for tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's just tough for us to look at it while we're
I
trying to
know,
have
I
the read,
understand.
that's all. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yep. All right, the next item on the agenda then is the update from the Parks and Recreation Director and upcoming events.
Okay, so on February 18th, we opened up our summer camp registration. We had a really strong turnout again this year of registrations, which is great. So in talking about the REACH camp specifically, which runs for 5 weeks, and Parks and Rec, we run the afternoon camp while the morning camps are run by the school district. Last year, we averaged for our 1st through 4th graders around 45 campers and 35 campers for our 5th to 8th grade group. We decided to bump our numbers up this summer, felt like we could do that. And so for this year, we are averaging around 57 campers for the 1st through 4th grade group and 50 for the 5th through 8th grade group.
Nice.
And then most of our other camps that we're offering this summer, specifically the Durham Parks and Rec camps, they're either full or have just a few spots remaining. The AM Reach camps did also have, for Reach, did have strong attendance as well, but they still have several camps that have some space open there as well. And then non-ORCSD students can register for any of our camps starting on March 2nd. And then our 2 new camps that we're offering this year, so Thrillville, we're taking 22 kids. That's 2 vans. So that, I think we have one spot open in that camp, so that was great to see that that one filled up. And then our camps with Wicked Cool for Kids in August that are replacing the Mad Science Camp. They're set up a little differently. We have like they're 2 like half-day camps, but you can make them into a full day. So we have 13 currently registered for each morning and afternoon. So it's,
Yeah.
I would say it's equivalent to what we had with the Mad Science. So yeah, really great with the camp stuff. And then just an update on our summer staff from our last meeting. We have 20 returning staff, which is really great. 2 staff members only are not coming back. And so we're looking
Must
good.
be a good office to work for then.
We're looking good there. But we are gonna, with our increased numbers, we are going to hire probably 1 or 2 counselors and probably 2 junior counselors. Right now, I'm just waiting to see the weeks the staff can work and all this, like where our schedule holes are before we make those final decisions. And then our extra summer van rental has been secured, so that's good because those are always a challenge and they are getting expensive to acquire for the summer. You have a constant contact that's going out tomorrow, so if you're all connected with that, you'll see all the amazing adult programs that we have going on. There's just a lot of fitness classes, open play pickleball, regular sessions of pickleball, and we just added a new Spanish conversation group class. So there'll be like a beginner and a mid-beginner level class to register for. So that's an exciting new addition.
Yes.
And just to mention the open play pickleball that we've been doing on Saturday, big thanks to Chris and Daphne because those have been very popular. Basically, we have two sessions per Saturday. We max out at 18 and I would say almost every weekend those are full.
Successful, but I'll add, with the exception of me being really dumb about using the lockbox and getting Rachel out of bed very early on a Saturday morning. My apologies.
Well, it was an easy fix. So I came down with tools and ready to tear the thing off and I didn't have to do that. Chris was just using the wrong lockbox, so.
I had it in my head that the week before people were having trouble and I was going, it's frozen shut, I know it.
Where is that open play?
It's at the middle school, yeah, on Saturdays. So that's been great. We're going to continue that through March at this point and
See what the weather does.
yeah, I guess as long as the snow sticks, people will be looking for indoor time. And then our last session of like the indoor register by level of play just opened up and I mean, it fills in 2 minutes. It's crazy how quickly those, so we just wish we had more gym time to be able to offer those because obviously it's quite popular and the demand is certainly there. So do the best we can with trying to give the amount of classes, levels of play we can with what we're given for space. So thank you for running the open play and the learn to play this year too.
Yes,
I have
thanks,
my
Chris.
inaugural teaching of the Learn to Play session and graduated eight
There you go.
participants.
Excellent.
The 9th one didn't show in the last one, so no certificate for them.
That's right.
Not 100% there, Chris.
On February 14th, we had our Sweetheart Skate at Churchill Rink. We did that in the afternoon, and we had 102 register with about 20 drop-ins that came and just paid there. So it was great. It was really well attended. Everyone gets like a Be Mine goodie bag. We have hot chocolate and a chocolate fondue station, like with a fountain.
That's cool.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a little, touch and go based on the weather, but it was about mid-30s. And so we were able to get it going and it stayed flowing throughout the event. And then we have other like crock pots of like warm apps and snacks and things like that. So
Nice.
yeah, it was really, really well attended. We kind of maxed it out at 100 just based on the space. So we kind of exceeded that a little bit, but that's okay. Let's see. Spring after school programs, the registration opens on March 2nd. So that will be our final session of the school year. things are going well with all after-school programs. This week is February school vacation week, and what we've found has worked best for us is we offer field trips Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We don't offer them on Monday, we don't offer them on Friday, because we just find that people are traveling, and it's worked out the last couple of years for us to hold that schedule, so the kids I guess it would have been canceled yesterday anyway with that storm, so kids were off today to Boda Borg down in Mass. It's like a very interactive escape room type setting. A lot of different quests for them to conquer, and so, yeah, something different. They had a good time. They're off to Gunstock tomorrow to tube, and then back here to skate, and then, or they have a cooking program on Thursday. So Kelly did all the coordination for those field trips, so appreciate that. Some playground updates. The crack repair at Woodridge, confirmed with Pine State Asphalt to complete the work and pass that through Gail and Todd. They came in at the budget amount that we were given for that project again, so that's good. They are thinking they'll be able to accomplish that in May, but just waiting for the snow and frost, will dictate when that is all gonna happen. But that's all like in motion, so that's good.
Good.
Also, the new suspension bridge at Jackson's Landing is in, so that's a playground structure, it's part of the playground structure there, that suspension bridge, and I'll email you over pictures so you can see the before and after, but it was very, very stretched out, making it quite steep anyways, it's all fixed, it's brand new, it looks great.
Great.
So, it's a huge improvement safety-wise for that playground. And the guy was like super nice to come down and tackle things now, he wanted to wait till the spring, and I was like, any chance you could do it earlier? That was before we had all the snow.
Yeah.
And then we got all the snow, and he still kind of made it happen, so it's great of him.
Yeah.
And then the two, I think I mentioned this, and maybe I didn't, but I know I mentioned it to you, the 2 picnic tables that we ordered, they're all set up at Jackson's Landing as well. They look great. They just are covered in snow and waiting for spring to get some usage. So we'll get some pictures once they're not snow covered.
Well, that's great. I mean, part of what we wanted to do was make some improvements at Jackson's Landing,
Yeah.
so we're definitely moving forward with that, so.
Yep, and then we'll have more to report on, some more improvements coming up
Yep.
further down in the meeting.
Okay.
The only other thing at the playgrounds would be up and coming would be to coordinate the wood chips coming in for the year, and then also working with the middle school on their Service Palooza Day to have them go spread the chips and put them
Okay.
around. And then upcoming dates for events, Slush Cup is March 15th. That's an all-day event. Got to get your registration in by March 4th to participate, so if you're on the fence about that, it's time to get the registration in. Annual egg hunt is going to be April 4th at the high school turf, and then Memorial Day ceremony, May 25th, and downtown Durham Day is going to be August 6th.
Okay.
We'll do that in the evening again. Last year we did like 5:30 to 8. I think we'll start at 6. 5:30 was a little quiet to start. I think people are still getting out of work.
Because then it could be 6 to 8, and then don't you have a movie at 8?
We did do a movie.
Yeah. I don't know if you're planning to do it again this year or
We'll
not.
see.
but-
We had about
yeah.
50 people for the movie.
Yeah.
Can't decide
Last
if,
year, wasn't there a gap, though, between the end of Durham Day and the movie?
so Durham Day would have gone 5:30 to 8 last year, and then, I think the movie started at 8:30. So that could have,
So people might have left.
they may have left, yeah.
Okay.
That's my update.
All right. Thank you. Any
Mm-hmm.
questions for Rachel? Well, as usual, thank you very much. Things seem like they're really moving along.
Yeah, we've been really busy, and
Yeah.
just like I'm in 2 after-school programs a week right now, so it's just a busy stretch of
Yeah.
tackling that and then all the other
Right.
But it's all good.
Well, thank you, we appreciate it. All right, so now we'll move into the business portion of the meeting, and Rachel, I think you're gonna keep talking to us for a little bit, which is
Okay.
great. So the first one is the recreation account.
Oh, right.
update.
Yep, sorry. Let me get that.
And I maybe should have described that a little bit better, but you can describe it. It's basically the kind of a place where donations could flow, right?
Yep, so we've
Okay.
been talking about ways that we can, try to fundraise to bring in some money for some of these projects at the parks without having to go to town council each budget season and ask for the full amount. So I chatted with Deb Alstrom, who's in our business office, and I can pass this around for you to take a look at, but basically she suggested that we set up a trust and kind of use the Durham Town Land Stewardship Patrons Trust as like a model for that.
Okay,
There is currently a rec donations line, and so we talked about, that's already established. So we talked about if this trust gets set up, that we could potentially use that account to allow people to make that donation directly through Rec Desk.
oh, that would be good.
And then it would also track
True.
who's making the donation, and we could also use like our Rec Desk has like what's called flex forms, so they can be very specific on, so basically taking something like this, which is what the Town Land Stewardship Patrons Trust did, which was like a pledge form. So we could kind of mimic this all
Yep.
on flex forms on Rec Desk, and it collects all the information that then backs up the donation.
Right, okay.
One thing that Deb mentioned is that we would want to have a specific project.
Okay,
So the challenge becomes if we, like, say we want to put in kayak racks and it's $5,000 to do kayak racks. If we don't meet that budget goal by, or that fundraising goal, that kind of becomes a little bit problematic.
and how often would you have to change the project too? I
Right.
mean, yeah. So,
So it can't be, basically what she's saying is that it just can't be like a general, like,
General fund.
fundraising. It does have to be.
is that if it's a trust, you mean? Like what, so is there an alternative to the trust? Like, I don't have a problem with having specific projects that you ask people for money for, but there are other people that may just want to give to Parks and Rec and say,
But
use it for what you
Can
will.
you be more generic? Could you say to fund projects such as kayak rack, picnic benches?
Yeah, or even
and
just
Or
park,
X.
upkeep.
park upkeep, yeah.
Park upkeep, pending availability of funds raised. Can you say
Yeah.
that? So it's more open?
Possibly. On one of the things that people, like on this like pledge form, one of the things that's conveyed is that, like, say you donate
$100.
Yeah, $100, and I don't know, say we've reached our, we're asking for $5,000, but hey, we got 8. We can, like, within this pledge form, it can then, basically, there's language in there that says that money can stay, and then it can be used towards other,
The next one.
yeah,
Okay.
other projects.
So what happens if you don't raise the
Right.
5,000 though? You said it was problematic, so what happens?
Right, so according to Deb, what she was saying is that you want to try to be able to raise that money and use it within that same year.
Oh,
That same budget year, but we could use, like, say we're, $500 short of our, then we can use our operating budget to
Yeah.
offset that fundraising goal. But it does, from what she was saying, it does need to be like a specific
Project-specific.
project highlighted.
why don't you pass that form around, let's see. what we
So
can
saying
get out of that.
improvements at Jackson's Landing is not enough.
I don't think,
Because what would our dollar amount for that might be pretty big, right? But I guess you could do
If
it
it's a general fund for
Incrementally.
improvements, you just see how much money you get and
Yeah.
and spend the
Right.
money
And
based on what you
I did talk to
need.
her about like, well, what if we want to do like a, like a new playground and we know that it's going to be, we're not going to raise the money all in 1 year. It's going to be, so she had to kind of think about that a little bit.
Yeah, can it be, yeah. So if you had multiple ones of these set up, like if you have one set up, say for the kayak racks, and then if you had a different fund set up, or does it have to all be this one same fund? If you had a different fund set up for a new playground, and maybe that spanned over a 2-year period, can you do that?
I think the key is to whoever's making that donation, it's specific to,
So
A project.
this
To
is
a
not,
project.
this, I do not read that at all in this
in that one.
Yeah, I mean, I won't read the whole
Well,
thing.
that's the pledge form, but
Oh,
the other one is the
Okay.
verbiage for the trust.
And
So-
is that, sorry, one more question.
Go ahead.
So setting up a trust similar to this, and I agree, if it's already established, it's easier to mimic something. But at our January meeting, when we talked about this loosely, we had said something like maybe setting up like a Friends of the Park and Rec to allow for donations. Would that be less restricted than setting up a trust? I don't know.
or are they saying we cannot
Or
do
is it the
that?
same? Is it just different
No, I
verbiage?
think we can do it, and it's probably less restrictive, but it's like a whole, it basically operates as its own little like business.
Oh,
Like
And
a
is that where
pass-through nonprofit kind of
You have to have
structures?
like a board and,
Yeah.
So the Friends of the Library have that as a model, where people apparently give to the library, that group, and then that group augments the library's budget by varying amounts year to year.
And there is a board.
I'd
Yeah.
imagine there is a board, and they
Yeah.
decide how much they're going to give to the library each year. And typically, it seems it's a fixed amount, but it can carry year to year, and it doesn't seem to be for specific. It's whatever the board decides they
Yeah.
want to do with them. And so
But I
that might
wonder
be-
how they get the money then and where does it flow, right? Because I think we could do that model in terms of, we could have a board. I just wonder how that is set up then for them.
well, however you set up a 501c3.
Okay. So that would be less restrictive on our end, but then is that the thing where we were told that people sort of had to do it by check or something? Is
No,
that still right?
that's this,
Oh,
that's it doesn't have to be through a check, it just has
Yeah.
to be documented as
Right.
to what the donation is, who made it, and
yeah,
what it's
okay.
for.
Well, that makes sense.
Which through Rec Desk, we would be able to easily capture all that
Yeah,
versus taking in paper registration forms and having to,
yeah.
put that into an Excel sheet.
But aren't there easy enough online mechanisms for taking donations? So you have a QR code that takes them to a site that captures all that. I just have been with some nonprofits in the past, and I've not been directly involved in that, but always remember, oh yeah, there are
Or just
widgets that
from a
will do that.
website or something, yeah. Well, maybe we could talk with the library, Friends of the Library, see what they do.
Sure.
Okay.
It
And how
feels like,
complicated and what kind of reporting
Yeah.
is required and tax filing and those.
I mean,
Yeah.
kind
Matt
of-
can
Yeah,
probably speak to
yeah,
it a little bit,
yeah.
because that's what, like, the boosters for hockey.
Yeah, but that's
is-
not really a town thing, right? Like, you didn't have to go through any town.
no, but wouldn't that be
Steps, did
similar
you?
to Friends of,
Right.
Because the boosters
I'm
is,
just thinking the town is more restricted.
it is its own 501c3.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
Like there could be like 5 people in town who decide to set up on their own, nothing with the town, a 503c that is for Parks and Rec. And they can raise all the money they want. And the way their fund could be set up is that all the money has to go to Durham Parks and Recs, whether the town approves it or not. They can't stop somebody for fundraising for you. So I think that's how like the hockey boosters is. Like the school system didn't come up with boosters. These
Right.
parents just got together and like hockey's an extremely expensive sport for ice time. So they formed their own organization and they pay for practice time. Like they pay for they have a decent amount of money. I don't know exactly, but I know it's
I mean, even the girls
Thousands.
program has that set up, and
Yeah.
there's a treasurer, there's a,
Yep.
Yeah.
there's formal positions.
Yep, so this, I mean, the way that it looks like that the town's kind of involved in that trust, but there's no stopping someone from just forming their own.
And then just giving like a $500 donation.
Like I could start my own and say,
yeah,
get 5 friends and start my 503C and the funds are just the way legally we set it up, is that they have to go to
Yeah.
Durham's Park and Rec program, and that's it. And then, but the way that's looking is like the town's kind of like setting it up. So it's not like it's a group of individuals who aren't associated
Right.
with the town.
Being a town department, maybe
Setting
that's
up
how
their
it
own
kind of has to
trust.
go. I don't know.
That's probably why it's very restrictive, because it's
Yeah.
the government that's setting up
Yeah.
the,
So at the last town council meeting, the Mackey Family Trust wanted to donate $10,000 to Wagon Hill Farm for the exhibits and the like in the barn. And the rules apparently are $10,000 or more, the town has to, the council has to vote to receive it. But I don't know if they'd ever deny receiving it, but the $10,000 was the threshold of that.
10,000 or above.
Yes.
The council has to approve it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it does sound kind of restrictive, doesn't it?
I think especially in light of several of the things that we may want to do are bigger ticket items, and if you can't,
Right. Right. And
reach that threshold in 1 year.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to be trouble.
Yeah. Agreed.
So where do we want to take that from here?
Maybe we need to look into, and I can do some of this, is see what other departments have.
Yeah.
A lot of other departments have revolving funds,
Yeah, I
which is
know.
how they're doing some of these big projects. But I can see if there's other departments that have,
Yeah, and I can look
These
into the
friends of-
library board, see if there's anyone, I don't know if there's anyone I know on that board right now, but maybe I can send it to all of you, and maybe one of you knows someone and could talk to them about how that works. Okay. It's just too bad that it's so complicated.
it is, yeah. I mean, Deb even said like we'd have to touch base with the trustees of the trust fund to see if they would even consider setting this up.
Okay. All right.
I don't see why they wouldn't, but still, it's another,
I mean, I don't know why anyone would be against a department or a committee trying to get revenue, right? I mean, but who knows? Okay. All right, thank you for that. Thank you
Sure.
For your work on that.
I will keep digging and we'll look into
All right.
some more Friends of stuff options.
Yeah.
Well,
And if-
So sorry, one more question. So without anything currently in place to accept donations, if somebody just sent a check for $5,000 to the Parks and Rec and it said donation, and if they specified it towards a certain piece of property or piece of equipment, or it was unspecified, what would happen?
So-
Can you not accept that check?
No, we can. So there is, like I said, there's a donation line that is set
Oh,
up
yeah,
for us.
okay.
And so like the Rotary, for example, last year they donated $1,000 towards music. And we were able to use that donation
Yeah.
and pay the bands or whoever
Mm-hmm.
out of that
And the
account.
donation line is in the operating budget? Or like a revenue fund?
Yeah, it's-
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
And you didn't
Thanks.
need permission to take that money and use it for the.
No, I just have to provide documentation, like
What
whether
you
it's an
used it for.
email or get a letter from whoever's donating to say what it's to be used for. So that way I don't turn around and buy new picnic tables for Jackson's Landing when it was supposed to go towards bands downtown.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for the accounting and the reporting part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. All right, thank you for that. Any other comments or questions on that? Okay. And I think maybe when, maybe we could talk to Al Howland again about it. I think he might have some things to think about
Sure.
there, so, okay. All right. Next item then is still Rachel, rink project update.
Busy night.
All right, so chatted with Bill. He's, been pretty busy, but did give an update, and he's gonna come in April and give like a much more thorough update that like he's been doing. But he said, here's a quick update on the project. So drawings and renderings have been updated to include a community room out back between the rec offices and multipurpose room. Bird's eye view renderings have been updated using Google Earth to show the exact setting we are in. So I don't know if you remember the other plans, they showed something that definitely did not look like Jackson's Landing and the surroundings. Wetlands delineation was completed in the fall, pro bono by Jamie Long. Existing survey was updated to include wetland delineation as well as accurate building location on survey. Conceptual site plan by civil engineering firm was updated with some aspects of completed survey, but there's still a small amount of work to be completed on this. He's exhausted all the funds for professional services that were approved for him to expend, which was $50K. And he needs to go back to the town council soon with another request for spending. In the meantime, he's going to use funds from the rink operating budget to complete a few tasks remaining to get to the end phase here. And he states that they have plenty of money in the rink fund, just needs council permission to spend more. And then on the rink side of things, he states that overall it's been a good season. The new Zamboni that he purchased has been great. The cooling tower right now, unfortunately, is giving him some problems. And he's been trying to problem solve that with an electrician and then also someone coming in to like rebuild certain motors. And
Limp through about 3 weeks.
yeah, so currently the weather is helping
Yeah.
navigate that, but he's having to basically like drain the cooling tower and fill it so it doesn't freeze. So it's kind of a pain, but he said it takes about 15 minutes to do either one, so it's not terrible. But and as mentioned, the slush cup is scheduled for Sunday, March 15th. The season end date is set for Wednesday, March 18th. And then he plans to host the 3rd annual Celebrate Oyster River Sports event, and that is set for March 18th.
Same day it closes.
Same day it closes, yeah. Pending outcome of scheduling conflicts with
Is that a
the,
weekday? Is that like a Wednesday?
yeah, it was a weekday last year.
'Cause Saturday's the 21st, I think.
He's gonna work around the
It is.
Oyster River Youth Hockey Boosters Banquet,
Oh, yeah.
so whatever, he's planning to work around that. But that's where things stand. I know like with the rink plans, he also had them take the playground out back to accommodate some of the community room and to move it across the street. So he's waiting on that plan to kind of, I think that was the last thing he was waiting on to be able to say like, okay, now the budget numbers for
Yeah.
this.
And so what is the next step in terms of decision-making that the playground does move? Is it?
I would say
eventually
if we want to have more recreation community space
Yeah.
there, then the playground does have to move.
Okay. So this is probably a little bit ahead, but eventually, once everything's kind of set, and Joe, maybe you can help, what would the process be? Like Bill would bring it to, would there be, when would the community involvement stage happen? Like before it goes to the council with Bill saying, okay, here's the X cost and
Yeah,
here's
so
how it's going to be paid for, and I'm assuming the council would have to approve it all at some point, right?
And is there a plan that shows it on that site at the corner of Old Piscataqua Road and 108?
Yeah, so that's where he just needs to get a little bit more funding
To finish that plan?
to finish that with the playground moved across the
I see.
street. And then from there, it would be the financial piece
Yeah,
that comes
okay.
into play.
And then when he said he's used the funds, so what, does that, I can never remember the name of it, the feasibility study for fundraising. So is that not going to be done, or is that part of what he used the funding for? And
I mean,
that will be-
he has spent some of that the
Yeah.
initial, but yeah, there will need to be additional money for them to complete that.
Complete it.
You're right.
Okay.
I don't know definitively what the process would be, but I would
Yeah.
guess since that property is currently, has no use except trees and trails, that it would probably have to go in front of the planning board with a specific plan.
Okay.
Are you paving any of it? Are
Yeah.
there wetlands? Are they all been delineated?
Okay.
You know, what's the impact? And if we can use that land, is this the best use for it?
Okay, yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
So that's probably a discussion that happens
Yeah,
in multiple departments.
Okay.
and in that case, Bill would have the engineers or the whatever to be able to speak to that, right?
Yeah, and I know
Okay.
he has brought Michael Barron into the conversation.
Yeah.
My guess is it would be a part of the overall plan for the rink. Here's what the rink, and
Yeah.
it includes a new, what are we calling it, a community center type thing.
Room,
And
yeah.
we'll use this land for not only the playground, but there may be parking that's also going to be used
Yeah.
on this land. So there'll be a whole plan.
Okay.
It's all part of the one. You're not going to do one, you're not going to move the playground and not do the rink.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
that kind of thing,
Exactly.
so.
And if you don't do the rink, you don't have to move the playground.
Exactly,
Yeah.
so it would be,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
got to be all well thought out, the whole project.
And to do the playground in the new spot, the new parking lot has to be developed.
Well, that's it,
Yeah,
while you're
so
doing
it's
that
like,
site.
there's a lot
site
of like
work.
pieces to put together.
And then
That's
I
right.
think more pieces would be, why not put the trails that we think should happen there and the waterfront? Because, you know, not that this rink project would pay for any of that, but
Right.
just I think it's important for people to understand
Well,
the
Linda and
full
I have a
scope.
good update for you.
Okay, good, all right.
Which one?
The AARP grant that we're working
Oh,
towards.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was for the trails, correct?
Yep,
For
so-
trail upgrade and maintenance, and it's due March 1st, I believe,
Fourth.
4th, the application, and Rachel and Veronique are working on that, and
Great,
it could be very promising.
Yeah.
And then the list that I had sent you, I reviewed those grants again, and it looks like there might be one other one that we could investigate, but we've already missed the deadline to get any funds for 2026, but it's due in the next couple months, and it would be funds for 2027.
right.
But, yeah, that looks promising.
It does.
So are we done with our rink update? Because we can move right into our next parks and trails.
Unless anyone has any further questions, but Bill will be here.
He'll be here in April.
Yep, he'll be here in April.
So I think in April, I think he did it last year, but so if he could speak to us about his annual report, which he usually does, but also any of the project update too that he has at that point.
Yep.
And think about how the committee might be able to be helpful in that.
Yeah, I think the project update, I think he needs to get the working group back together.
Okay.
That's been my feedback and suggestions for,
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to do things when you have the group
Right.
working with you and helping out and
Right.
meeting regularly to push
Yeah.
something forward.
Okay. All right. Well, he could talk about that a little bit and maybe, I think, Matt, you were on that working group? Or-
Yes, it's been a few years, but
Okay, yeah. You know, but some of us may have other people we think might be good or, you know,
Yeah,
just
and it doesn't have to be a
suggestions.
huge, there was a
Yeah.
lot of people in that, and you could
Yeah.
probably shrink it down a
Okay,
fair amount.
okay. All right, thank you. Okay, so next we are talking about the strategic plan and the subgroup updates. So the first one there is parks and trails. So if there's more information there, or can you tell us more about the AARP grant?
Yep, so it's, and Linda, feel free to jump in whenever, but it's up to a $15,000 grant. There's no match that needs to be
Oh, nice.
part of that. And Veronique has been working with, or meeting with, she met with like Riverwoods and is going to get kind of their like endorsement for that
Okay.
as well. But the big part of the project works or covers like accessibility there. So it would be, you know, regrading some of the trails, redefining some of the pathways along like the waterfront area, the trail that's like down the road from the rink that goes down by the water. There's like a little viewing platform, making that accessible to get down to the platform there. There's a lot of like signage right now that is either old with arrows pointing in correct ways, so updating signage there. There's a couple like benches that face really nothing, so maybe repositioning those, putting in some new,
Like a sunshade.
picnic tables, benches down by the waterfront, which goes, falls in line with what the ARC report, taking that passive recreation area and sprucing it up, so
Right.
that's basically the gist of it. We've been looking at adding, like specifically the picnic tables, the benches, and like a little covered picnic area. But man, those things are expensive.
Yeah.
And then Veronique mentioned today that there might be some permitting because it's near the water that we would have to work around as well. So, but yeah, I mean, like, I've reached out to several different companies regarding that, like covered picnic area, and they want like 10 grand just for the kit. And it's not even installed so I don't know, kind of disappointed about that, but.
So when you are putting together this grant, do they ask for it, or would it be helpful to include data from the ARC report and be able to say, hey, we did a community needs assessment and this is what people said they really wanted down there?
Yep, there's definitely some questions that we'll be able to pull that
Okay,
data.
good. Okay.
I mean, it's AARP, so is geared towards.
Asks a lot about, how much of it is geared towards the 50-plus community. Will they be involved as volunteers in assisting with the project?
And that was something that was going to be asked of Riverwoods people, right?
Bernie
Yeah,
talked with them, they seemed very interested and willing and
good.
getting involved, maybe volunteering to help, but definitely writing a letter of support, I think she said.
Yeah, yep.
Are you going for the full $15,000?
Nice. Okay.
And if it's more than that, do you have another source of funds, or you got to really cap it at 15,000?
It's just 15, I believe.
It says up to 15,
Up to
right?
15.
Yeah.
Yeah, up to 15. I mean, we do in our operating budget have now that budget line for parks and playgrounds, maintenance and updates, so.
Which was 6,500, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's, wood chips too are getting taken out of
Yeah.
that, so.
No, that sounds great. Thank you for that. I know it's a lot of work to put in a grant, so thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Let us know if you need help.
Well, we'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
So we'll
I think what I had written down was, so if we'll find out in June if it's awarded.
Okay.
Okay.
And the catch is
Oh, yeah.
the entire project that you're going to use these funds towards must be completed by December of 2026, so by the end of the year. So there's no dilly-dallying.
Yeah, we'd have to get
Get on our
Yay.
toes.
You can do it. All right. Okay, anything else for the Parks and Trails group? Thank you very much for all that. Okay, I think that's a lot. You guys are doing great. Okay. The next subgroup was communication and engagement. So Chris and I did meet on that. Couple quick updates there that I wrote down somewhere. You could see on the detailed report that I sent, we had taken the communications and engagement and broken it down into 4 additional categories: ARC report awareness, data reporting, communication, and engagement. And then Chris and I have added a few things to this list after we met. But probably the number one thing we're thinking of trying to tackle first is come up with kind of a communication plan. And that's where we talked a little bit, we will meet with Rachel on it too, but just kind of in terms of Durham Parks and Rec, who who are the audiences, what are the channels that are used, if you were going to do communication, what would the frequency of it be, who's responsible for it, what is the intent of the messages that you're sending out. So that's probably kind of the overarching part of it. And then getting a little more specific, the ARC report awareness. I think we talked about this at our last meeting, that maybe we haven't really done a lot to tell the community what that was really all about. We did a little bit right after it happened, and then, we could probably do a little bit more on that. So I will try to kind of create a summary. I think Art gave us a summary, so I think I just have to get back into it to see. But we'll give anything through Rachel and through the committee first, but then thinking about, again, what are the ways to best make the community aware of that, post it on the DPR website, have the town mention it, have Rachel's staff do some social media posts. And so the whole point of that will be kind of like, hey, here's what you told us, thank you for participating. Here's what you told us, and here's what, focusing on what the community said, and then eventually tying it in with the strategic plan as we get a little further along on that. In terms of the communication plan, Chris has already started kind of putting together those categories I talked about, like the channels and the who's responsible and the audiences. And so we obviously want you to kind of weigh in on all that too. And then the last one, well, not the last one, but the next one is kind of the data reporting. And so Chris has put together a video based on some of the data from 2025. Still maybe a little bit of work to do on that. We're still thinking a little bit about the best way that that could be used, but then also still thinking about other maybe more printed materials to be able to provide the town council, or to have at a table at a community event, or just be able to give to anyone who asks, hey, what do you guys do? What is your impact? So kind of we'll start working on that. And then the last one, the engagement, I think for now, we kind of decided we might let that one go a little bit. However, also because some of that volunteerism seems to be part of the other subgroups too, like the trails and parks, the middle school, or a volunteer day with the parks. And then there was another one too, the Woodridge, is there going to be a Woodridge day and that kind of thing. So Chris and I aren't sure we're going to knock that one off right away. That's probably our, down the road kind of thing. But if anyone is super interested in that, anyone has ideas, wants to help or whatever, we're happy to do that. And so I think what we'll do is just keep plugging on putting things together and putting them in front of Rachel and in front of all of you for feedback and input. Anything else, Chris?
No, I think that covered it. I just think when we started talking, just one thing that kind of came out of it, initially you think, oh, we need communications. Of course, for participants to sign up for programs, that's the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
We need to be speaking to the youth participants, adult participants, the parents of youth participants, supporters, so potential funding sources,
Yeah.
townspeople with simply, maybe they're a little hands-off, but have an interest in, I live in a great town that has a lot going on and want to be aware of that. Durham businesses. Other partners, like your program partner, paddling and so forth, and then volunteers. So this quickly becomes, it snowballs, because you look at each of these audiences and you go, well, these people are on Facebook, these people respond to email, these people are on Instagram,
Right.
and you need to tailor your messages. You want to really define a persona for each one of those, say what's important to them. And we reminded ourselves and suggested that we all do this. To answer that question, we need to look back to the ARC report and continue to use that as our little guidepost.
Yes.
And say, okay, apparently these are important to us, so we need to consistently say the messages to this group need to talk to those values, those interests.
Here's what was important to them. Yeah.
In the proper channels. So it
Right.
gets, it's
Yeah.
a massive matrix.
And
but-
we realize that you may have something like this already, so that's what we're not suggesting we reinvent everything. But, we were just going to kind of put a skeleton together, have you say, yep, I already got that, or, oh, I didn't think of that person or that group or whatever, so.
Right.
Yeah,
And always being mindful of the fact that you can't flood 10 different channels with 20 different programs, there's a capacity
Yeah.
to produce, so we have to pick our battles.
Yeah, I mean, and even, you know, like, because we do the constant contact, and that's been pretty successful for us. We always see, like, when one of those goes out, we see some,
See your stats on it.
yeah,
right?
you can definitely see it. But I try to avoid Fridays, although it doesn't always happen because Friday updates go out that day. And then I try to
Oh, yeah.
avoid Mondays because the library sends out their update on Monday. So it's like, I'm trying to go for Wednesday. I think that's our day, but,
Just tell everyone else to stop it.
well,
on
but that's the
Wednesday.
thing, you don't want to, you know, how much town information can you shove down
Don't want
everyone's
to
throat, right?
oversaturate, you don't want to get unsubscribed, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do get some unsubscribed. Drives me crazy.
Don't worry, we all will.
I think it was important, though, that, you know, Kathy and Chris, you both mentioned referencing back to the information that's in the ARC report. I think it's important to keep that out in the public view, but also so that people don't think, well, whatever happened to that survey that we did? You know, so that it's not just data that was gathered and now it's lost and forgotten.
Right.
And if you reference what we're doing back to that, or you keep bringing out tidbits of that to the community, they can see, oh, hey, you know, we did discuss that, we did see, you know, we gave our opinion on that, and groups are working on
Yeah.
trying to address some of these issues.
Yeah,
And I think
that's
especially
important.
that Jackson Landing part of that report, sounds like a lot of that's getting done. So I think it's time
Yeah.
to tell people that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that report on the Parks and Rec webpage?
No, because it needs to be like, it's a huge file, so I need to.
That's why I'm going to try to come up with a summary. And then would it be able to be linked somehow or?
Yeah,
Anyway, we can talk about it later.
But even,
Yeah.
even like
That's the
as you're
goal.
coming up with different forms or formats of communication.
Yeah.
You know, even if you had just a star, you know, as mentioned in your feedback in the ARC survey.
Yeah.
You know,
we
based
could
on the
come up with a
community's
little
feedback. from
tagline.
the-
Yeah.
Right, based on the community feedback in the ARC survey.
Yeah.
These
yeah, you said
improvements
you
have been
wanted
made.
this and that. And
Here it
and
is.
here it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, just
Okay.
keep, you're right, have a tagline to the
Yeah.
ARC survey, so that's on these communications, so people, it's not out of sight, out of mind, it's
Right.
not lost.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Yep. Yeah, and I think for
I
all of
like
us
the
as-
tagline. We need to come up with
Okay,
something
well,
like,
I'm not good at those, but someone else more creative can do that.
yeah.
But yeah, I think keeping that ARC report kind of always with us as
Right,
we're
in
doing
the
this is a
forefront,
good thing to
yeah.
do. And it will help focus us too, because we may hear something from somebody that brings us down this rabbit hole, but maybe if it's not part of the big picture, then maybe we shouldn't go down that rabbit hole, you know?
Agree.
Did you have something else, Joe? Just,
Yeah.
again, if it's going to be the foundation of a lot of what we do, I understand that may be a very big file,
Yeah.
but somehow
Oh, yeah,
gotta
no,
be
make
on
it
there.
it needs,
accessible to people if we're
Yeah.
going to keep mentioning it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a little embarrassed, I don't know what ARC stands for. I know it's our report, but,
Yeah.
you know, it's recreation, I think, is one of the Rs.
Applied Recreation
Research collaborative, yeah.
But
No,
just, you know,
no, I agree, yeah.
So
Yeah.
somehow, I don't know what the technological way to
Right.
do it is.
And kind of based on what Linda was saying too, that's why we sort of realized maybe we haven't gotten that out there enough. You know, even just for people to look at and read, even if,
Yeah.
you know, so I
think it's,
agree.
Yeah, I think it's important to, I'll get it up on the website, find a way to get that
Yeah.
done. But then to take some of these tidbits and highlight, but then
Right.
link it back.
Link it to what-
Because people
yeah,
aren't gonna go on our
projects have
website and be
been
like,
done.
oh, what's
Oh, yeah, there it is,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're just-
Link it to the latest project,
Yeah.
or the upgrades at Jackson's, or on the pickleball courts, or whatever.
And
I
Chris
mean,
was
they have the
yeah.
7 key findings on that, so if we
Yeah.
could take that and then highlight that.
And Chris was also talking about having, you know, kind of social media blasts, right? So a blast could be, hey, you wanted picnic tables, and then here's a photo, look, here they are, they're in, you know, or that, I'm being very simplistic, but you know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. That's
I will-
exciting.
We talked about how we're going to set you up to do live video.
Yeah.
I told Chris when it comes to pickleball, he could be the video star.
People do love the videos. They
Yeah.
do love the videos.
Right, right.
Yeah. Okay, The next subgroup, and I'm not sure you had a chance to meet the financial CIP with Al. I think he's been out of town. So if there's nothing to report, that's no problem.
Nothing to.
Okay, no problem. Maybe when he gets back, if you and I and he and Rachel, if she can, could maybe touch base?
Yeah, I have nothing to do until mid-April, so I'll be around.
Nothing to do? I doubt that, but, okay.
No place I'm leaving to go.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, all right, so a couple other things based on just the strategic plan. I wanted to ask, where is the best place, or what is the best place for us to keep this document in a place where we can all add to it, see it, whatever? I'm not sure the Google Docs is working for everyone. So I was just thinking, do people have Teams? Do people have,
I have really strong opinions about this.
I have
think
Dropbox, I have Teams, I don't really use them ever, but I have.
okay,
I mean, I use Google Drive.
Yeah.
all right.
I think
well-
the problem's us, not the Google Doc.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not saying it's the Google Doc.
You can be accessing
but
it,
if-
doing something with it.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't want it to be in a place where people have difficulty accessing it,
Yep.
but, all right, well, I'll put it back in the Google Docs for now. But, if you really have trouble getting in there, let myself know, probably Rachel would be better to let know than me, because I don't always do it right either. But I think it's just important that we all have this document as we're meeting with subgroups, even notes we put in, that everyone can see. And hopefully at some point, we're going to start being able to say, oh, we did it. Oh, we did that.
Right.
One thing that may help a little bit if everybody is up for it, I think when you have a collaborative document, then tracing who did what becomes difficult. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've turned on, revision tracking and commenting, and I think that's one way to do it. It's a step more that everybody needs to be aware of how to do, but the person who owns the document has the ability to clear comments and say, okay, I saw that, yes, I made that change in the document, resolved, and it goes away. You can go and see the archive if you need it, but then you don't lose control of it
Yeah.
and wonder, how did this paragraph
Yeah.
change? So I think that's an important
So I
thing
think you
to do.
own it. So you might have to look at that. I can look at it too. And there might be some stuff in there that's old,
Yeah, I'll have to see if on Google Docs.
Where you set
If,
the.
I know on like
commenting.
Word, like what you're talking
Yeah.
about, but I'd have to look on Google Docs. and
Let me
see.
know if you need help with that.
Okay.
I've done it, I can probably find it again.
Okay. And then I think moving forward, the plan would be that as subgroups, we do try to meet as a subgroup each month in between each meeting. So then, I'm envisioning this strategic plan subgroup update being kind of a permanent item on our agendas moving forward. So does that sound okay to everyone?
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. So the next item is the 2026 committee goals, and I'm glad Matt's here because I'm hoping we can vote on these today. So now there'll be five of us. And
You're a fifth vote.
after the one I sent you all, when was that, 4 days ago? I started thinking about it a little bit more, and I actually think I would like to make some changes to it. So I'm going to give these to you all. You can pass that over.
Thank you.
I got mine.
You got yours, okay, good. So I just thought that we could simplify it quite a bit. And also in the previous draft I sent, we had things about creating a community engagement plan, provide advisory support to the director in budget and CIP planning, and those are both part of our strategic plan. So I might suggest the revised version where it's basically 3 items, but that item about the strategic plan, I think that's a big one. And I think that's pretty much what we're going to be working on this year. I think the committee talked about it at the last meeting and everybody kind of agreed with that. So I thought maybe we just put it all together in that one. We still keep on there assisting Rachel with community events. We do like committee members to volunteer at least one event each year. And then supporting Rachel and the rink manager about, and remain updated on the rink renovation project. So what are your thoughts on that?
I like it.
The shortened version? Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay.
I think I would maybe just add, or suggest that we add that we work with other town committees and commissions as appropriate.
Okay.
We're already working with the land stewardship. and
Okay.
There may be others. Just kind of then falls in line with town council goals
Yep.
of cross collaboration.
So work with other town committees as appropriate?
And commissions. as
And
appropriate.
commissions, okay.
Like there's a conservation commission, I think they call it, for
Yep.
instance.
Okay.
If it makes sense.
Great. That's a good one. Can add that. And
that
Joe-
would- That would be ongoing.
Right, yeah. Are we supposed to, after we draft these as chair, am I supposed to send these to someone?
I don't know if you're supposed to, but
Okay.
if you'd like them presented and shared, I'd be happy to do that. Or
Okay.
you could, you've come to the council before to give your annual report.
Yeah.
It could be at that time. I don't
Okay.
think there's a formal.
Okay.
We don't get a formal strategic plan from each committee necessarily, except in those annual
Annual
updates.
reports.
If the chair wants to present them.
Yeah, okay,
But if you want
Okay.
to have more people involved in knowing and feedback, and you want to
Yeah.
present it, I can present it.
okay. I think maybe, because you do a committee report.
That's right.
Yeah.
During the roundtable.
During the, yeah, maybe just, my thought, well, I don't know what other people think, would maybe be to mostly talk about the fact that we're starting this strategic plan. I don't know if you've mentioned that already, but, and maybe, talk.
I did, actually, but
You did? Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
but this, I remember last year, I said, when we did this, and we did it ahead of the town council goals, which is fine.
Yeah,
And so I mentioned that the committee voted and did their goals, but I didn't hand them out.
yeah. No, I don't
Or
think you have
made
to
a link.
hand them out. I think, yeah, and that was good what you did last year, because I think you ended up saying the Parks and Recreation goals align with the council goals, and I think that's fine.
Yes.
I guess if you're doing your roundtable, though, maybe just mention we're starting work on, don't say we're,
Okay.
done.
I'm
We're
happy to.
starting work on a 1 to 3 year strategic plan, focusing on, and then those three items that are the three subgroups. Do you think that's okay, Rachel?
I think that's great.
Okay. Thanks, Joe.
Sure.
Okay, so it sounds like we are good with the updated goals, which has the three items we talked about, and then I will add what Joe has suggested about working with other town committees and commissions. Is there any, so I am going to ask for a vote on this, so we can adopt them this evening, but is there any discussion first? Or other suggestions? All right. Before we vote, I just want to say I really appreciate all of you, and I appreciate that you are really buying into this and really doing the work on it. It is fun and exciting to work with you all. So, that being said, do I have a motion to adopt the committee goals for 2026?
I make a motion.
Okay. And I should probably say as presented. Okay. And a second?
I'll second.
Yay. Okay, good. All right. No other discussion? Okay, all those in favor of adopting the 2026 Parks and Recreation Committee goals as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, excellent. You see, I already put the date it was adopted. I was being very optimistic for us for that. That's why I needed you to show up, Matt.
Oh, because I was late. So you're like,
Because I'm
no.
like, oh, we can't vote on
I've
them.
never missed a meeting.
I know. All right, our next meeting is Tuesday, March 24. Again, meeting with your subgroups. If anything comes up, please let Rachel or I know. One of the things Rachel and I talked about a little bit before the meeting was as we're having our meetings maybe with each other, even just letting Rachel know that they're happening. And if she can be there, great. If she can't, you know, she can follow up afterward. But we always want to make sure that she's in the loop, so to speak. All right, anything else? Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion?
I was going to say, nobody wants to adjourn? Okay. Second?
I second.
Okay. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.